Hello, my name is Joel Miller. I'm full-time local pastor at Pleasant Hill United Methodist Church in Somerville, Georgia. Also, I'm your Fellowship of Local Pastor and Associate Members chairperson. I'm here today to present to you some ideas and information that we as your fellowship are involved in. As you already know, each year at annual conference, your fellowship hosts a luncheon where we as local pastors gather together from all across North Georgia to sit together, fellowship, to talk about things that are working well for us. And we also try and supply a speaker who will bring ideas that will give us information and assist us in becoming better local pastors. Speaking of annual conference, I'd like to request that as many of you as possible come to annual conference in Athens, Georgia. I do realize that many part-time local pastors work full-time jobs, and I know that many of you don't have the vacation time that would allow you to attend many of the daytime conferences. But still, please consider attending. Ask your employer about additional time off and let them know that by going to annual conference is somewhat like continuing education, where you will be able to see how the conference works and how you are so strategically involved in the workings of the North Georgia Conference. Yes, all local pastors are strategic to the mission of the North Georgia Conference. Bishop Sue has acknowledged that North Georgia would not be able to minister to all the people that we reach without the assistance of the licensed local pastor. And by the way, our bishop is one of your biggest supporters. In the future, you'll note that additional video interviews such as this of your board members of the fellowship will be on the website. Each district has a board member that sits in the fellowship board meetings and has an equal speech in the issues that are before us. They will be presenting themselves and telling about their life as a pastor and as a board member. Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself as your fellowship chair. Again, I'm Joel Miller, and I'm the person who has been sending you the encouragement emails, or it was my intention that they be encouragement and information. I grew up in Dallas, Georgia. Before entering the United Methodist Church ranks, I was raised as a Southern Baptist and still have some of those mindsets, although I did realize after studying about the United Methodist Church that all along I was really a closet Methodist. I've only been serving United Methodist churches for about 16 years, beginning my preaching career as a lay servant. Then it was called lay speaker. After discussing all my options with my pastor, I made the decision to become a part-time local pastor because I was still working at Bell South. I received my first appointment while I was still working at Bell South and retired from Bell South after 32 years while I was in that first appointment. I continued in part-time appointments, the next one being for 5 years, and was then asked to become a full-time local pastor and move into the current position where two congregations were splitting a 2-point charge. As a full-time local pastor, I have many opportunities to serve on various district and conference committees and have enjoyed having a wonderful, loving congregation here at Pleasant Hill UMC in Somerville. I told my district superintendent, Reverend John Pinson, that it isn't many of our pastors who can say that they've been on a honeymoon with their congregation for 5 years. But for me, it's been that way. Well, enough about me. In closing, I want to again say thank you to each and every local pastor of the North Georgia Conference, and again remind you just how important it is for each of you to do your very best work for your congregation or your congregations, and to be all you can be in the service of God. We, each of us, and that's me included, are in our jobs as local pastors by the grace of God and at the appointment of our bishop. So it's important that we work to be the best pastors that we can be and meet all the expectations of the conference. For those of you who have completed course of study or you have an MDiv, congratulations and thank you. For those of you who are actively working to complete course of study, thank you. If you have not completed course of study and have not actively tried, let me beg you to please become more involved and work to finish course of study as quickly as possible so your appointment will not be affected in the future. Thanks again. I look forward to meeting you face to face in the future. And if you see me at annual conference or at one of our other conference meetings and I don't recognize you at first, please come up, speak to me, remind me of your name so that I can get to know you better. We are all in God's hands and in His heart. We are His servants. Thank you for your time.